Hi guys, welcome to my workshop. Today I'm making a birdhouse out of an old mirror frame. I'm going to show you a picture of the mirror that broke, and then when I replaced it, I had to replace it 3 times. So I have 3 hexagon mirror frames, one with the actual mirror and 2 just in my garage. So I decided to make a hexagon bird feeder, and that takes a lot of math sometimes, but we're going to see if it works. I guess the goal would be to make these pieces of wood into a bird feeder. The goal is to cut 6 times 3 of these pieces at 30-degree angle to create a tower of this shape, which I think is a hexagon. Gluing the 3 pieces together to form a little wall. These are 3 walls glued together, and I have to adjoin them. They're not all perfect, but it's a birdhouse or a bird feeder, not a real house, so I guess it's fine. Okay, so here's my basic form. And to glue it together, I'm going to be wrapping it with saran wrap and packing tape after I glue the sides together, because I don't obviously have enough clamps to keep this puppy together. Okay, this is what it looks like with saran wrap and tons of packing tape. Cautionary tale. I'm trying to make a hexagon roof with triangular pieces that are going to all lean in together. So you can see here I traced the angle of the pieces of wood themselves, like so that I can see that it comes out over top of it, but I'm still not quite sure how it's all going to fit together. I think I'm going to have to bevel the edges in, I guess, 30 degrees, because everything else is 30. So when you have 6 times 30, it's 360, so it should go all the way around, but this is very much an experiment. So this is my first triangle, but as you can see, if I try, I can place it to make a flat thing, but to make a roof, I definitely need the pieces to be beveled, I guess, because if not, they won't fit together. Turns out building stuff in a hexagon is challenging, and it has to be perfect for it to work. And so mine is not perfect, but it has been an experience that I'm learning from and asking myself why build in a hexagon. So I wouldn't recommend this project, but it's going to be cool to see the result. Isn't this beautiful? And I have to say here that I felt very proud of myself. And then I realized that Pythagoras I am not. And even though it works laid out flat, when we start to put the pieces together, you'll see what I'm saying. Okay, so here's the problem. I used all 30 angled miter cuts, and you know, I am really impressed that I was even able to do this, but I'm a pleb. I mean, it's just, you'll see. Okay, this is not, so when I put it together, obviously it's hard to visualize because I can't get it to stay, but oh my god. Okay, I'll just tell you, when it goes up into a point, there's not enough space for my last piece. So obviously, you know, it's meant for the dimensions to lay flat measurement wise, but it's not going to be able to go into a roof like I thought. Just trust me. Okay, so I'm going to have to, I think, cut one of the pieces to a smaller angle. But what that's going to be, I have no idea. Okay, so this is what I was saying. So now I have a tool to show you guys how it's holding up. But you see the space here? Obviously not equal to this space here. So I actually don't know. I mean, it would fit better actually as a 5-er. Yeah, it fits perfect as 5. Does it? Yeah, it does. Well, kind of. But then how's that going to look on a 6-sided other thing? Oh boy. I think I'm going to have to use 5 pieces because it doesn't work any other way. So obviously I'm a little bit annoyed, but I did check, and I mean, it still fits over top of it, and maybe I should just be impressed with the fact that like there's geometric shapes coming together in wood. Like I only thought about doing this morning, and so, you know, I should be happy about that, but it's just like my brain doesn't make sense of it, but whatever. Like I said, it's not like I'm a math whiz when it comes to this stuff with angles, like geometry and everything. I mean, it is cool, like I said. So what I'm going to be doing now is gluing the pieces together like I have for everything else. I did give them a quick sand. With like gluing things that are also at an angle, you have to be creative. So I'm going to get something to hold it up. Once I've glued all my pieces together, again, I'm going to put saran wrap and packing tape like I have with this one, which helps to hold it in place while it dries, and it doesn't damage the wood when you take the tape off, which is good. So yeah, I'm going to need full concentration for this, as well as my little aids. So the other thing I'm going to be doing is I have to build kind of like little legs on a few of the, well, each of these intersecting pieces, so that the piece of wood underneath is about, you know, I would say at least maybe 1/2 inch to 1 inch off of the edge, so that when the bird seed goes in, obviously the birds have a place to eat. So I'm also going to be creating another hexagon piece of wood that's a little slightly larger than this one. Hey guys, this is the taped roof. Sorry this took so long because it was so frustrating. I ended up having just to tape it down to the table. So I've let the glue dry, but I'm realizing I've had to re-glue the inside of the top. It also doesn't fit super perfectly since it's not the same shape, but it'll have to do. I mean, it's a birdhouse, right? Okay, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take the saran wrap and the tape off of this. That's what was holding it together. And you can see I have my shape here. Awesome. Okay, so the bottom is perfectly flat because that's the side I used to glue it on. And what I'm trying to do now is determine what I want to use as the base. And the base is going to have to stick out somewhat so that I will be able to, like the birds will be able to go to the edge and grab some grub. That's the whole point, right? So now I'm going to be taking my shape and tracing it. I think I'm going to leave a clearance of about 1.5 inches all the way around. Hopefully my saw can, that's the right size for my saw because it can only go so far. Okay, so I'm just making sure I have clearance enough all the way around here. Yeah, okay. Like the back of my head? Okay. So, yeah, that's good. You know? Okay. So now I'm going to be tracing it. All the way around. And then I'm measuring 1.5 inches all the way around. And I'm going to be drawing my lines out. Guess I'll just keep the camera running. Okay, so here I have my piece full of lines because measure twice, cut once, but luckily I did because, oh my god, this whole project has been extra. Okay, so yeah, there's the base of it. And I'm considering putting, or adding, I should say, a little lip, you know, maybe some kind of like light molding here so the birds have something to adhere to. I also have to cut little legs so that this is hovering above the baseboard. I don't know how tall it should be. Not much because you don't want those little buggers getting in there. Yeah, maybe about 1/2 inch high. And then the birds will come right here and eat the birdseed. So I love this top and I'm so proud of it, but
a few errors. And the fact that it doesn't fit perfectly because it's 5-side instead of 6 means, yes, I am going to restart because it just bothers me, and it's always going to bother me. I also had an idea last night to put a can in the center here so that the bird seed is going to be, you know, along the sides here so that it's not wasted in the center. I might even look to see if I have a slightly bigger can, but even this is better than obviously like a huge gaping hole here. Okay, just to give you the full story here. First of all, I should have been wearing this all day yesterday when I was cutting because my lungs felt like a lot of sawdust were in there. I looked online. I tried to find another template. It didn't work for me. I don't know. So I'm going back to the original 30 degrees because it's the easiest way to cut, and that's probably because it's equal on all sides. As far as the angle goes, and I with my saw and my skill, I can't do anything else. So we're gonna see if this works, but I did reduce the side beveled angle here in the hopes that it will be a closer joint and less of a peak maybe. So we're trying it now. It's slightly thicker wood. It's, if you compare it to the first piece, it is smaller, so we'll see what we got. All I can really say is frustrating but satisfying. So I have 6 pieces. Once again, it took a lot of tries to get this right. And we don't even know if it's correct yet. So I learned not much from the video, I will say that, but enough to know how to tape them before gluing them, which could be useful. This is simply a disaster. It has been. I've had to compromise the integrity of the project numerous times. It's finally going to work because I've cut the pieces down, manually measuring it. Anyway, I'm not going to get into it. So I'm just going to glue it now. And with my finger, I'm going to force glue into the holes before I tape it to let it dry. I mean, I'm really set on this Hexagon roof, even though it's caused numerous problems. I mean, it hasn't made me want to do anything like this again. However, I think it will look good. Oh boy. Okay. So I'm going to put it in place to dry like that. See, like even here, the gapping, oh my god, could it make me any more crazy? It's so annoying. Okay, let's try to put that together. This is like literally the best I could do. It's so complicated. Even the people online said it was quite complicated. And now I've lost all sense of superiority, of joy doing this. I find it so frustrating. Yeah, like, yeah, maybe I could even, no, I can't. And this is it with a ton of glue on it, and hopefully when it dries it'll be something spectacular. I think you feel me, right? So, project continues. 6-sided roof, Hexagon, taking the tape off now. I would say this is satisfying, but I'm still a little
upset that I had to compromise a little bit on the vision of it. Seems pretty solid. This is it. It's quite good. Yeah. So it's going to be going atop of the house. Like so. Definitely better than the 5-sided one. Oh my god, this is hard to put into place. So now I'm just taking the time to sand all my edges here to make sure before I paint it and do the rest of it that it's doesn't have to be perfect because it's obviously a birdhouse, but you know, just to make sure the edges are soft. And then if you see here, I drew a few lines because I'm going to be reinforcing the walls on the inside with these cut sticks, which I haven't done yet. And the sticks are going to be protruding at the bottom. Oh, I can't see. Protruding at the bottom by maybe, you know, just enough to let the birdseed come through. And that's also what's going to be attaching this to the baseboard, which we're not going to have to worry too much about the weight because the weight is actually going to be distributed through my hanging system, which is going to be drilling holes at the extremities, and then the string is going to be gathered together, and it's going to kind of be like a macrame that's going to be holding the baseboard and hanging that. So really the house is kind of sitting on top. Of course it's going to be adhered to it, but it's not going to be carrying the weight because at the end of the day this is very heavy compared to what we thought it was going to be at the beginning.
These are my support posts, which are going to allow for a clearance for the seed to come through. I've glued it and nailed it. Now I've reinforced the walls with glue and nails, and they are going to sit atop there ever so nicely. And the birdseed is going to go underneath here. So the next step will be painting and then gluing this together. Kind of scared to paint it, but gonna have to. This is the before. I've also drilled the holes for the string that's gonna hold it up.
Okay, this is step 370. No, just kidding. Okay, so now I'm going to be taking, I've painted it, I've glued and whatever. Now I'm going to be taking this piece and gluing it down here. I've drilled the holes, everything. It's going to be glued and cinched down with the clamps. And then I'm going to turn it over and probably get little nails to go through just to make sure it's perfectly in place. You see my can is glued down and the seed is gonna go over here. I had to repaint the lid because it was ugly. So the top is a different color now. But I think we're coming along here. I mean, from the top it looks like garbage, but from the side you can see it's quite nice. This is where it's gonna sit to sleep as it gets glued down with even pressure. Then I will be nailing in from the bottom just to secure it. And I have a hinge for the roof, and then pretty much we're gonna be done. Oh yes, the rope or hanging system.
So just so we're up to speed, I think this is the third time I've painted the roof. And I've distressed the bottom with a bit of sanding. And now I'm looking to string the jute. I've put this nail correctly in the center so that I can put the strings through each one of these holes so that I can form a sort of macrame to hold this up. Pretend this isn't here. I also am going to be adding a hinge right here. So to hold the lid on, so that it can open to allow for the birdseed, I'm going to be attaching this hinge like so, actually, like so, so that the lid can open.
satisfying. It's finally seeing the light of day. I'm going to be adding the seed now. Yet to see if any birds come to the birdhouse, and if so, I'll keep you updated, but this was a long project, but I think worthwhile. Doesn't it? Hot beats fast.
Okay, now it's starting to actually look like something. If you care. Yeah. Holy mother. Yikes. Looky.
That's a birdhouse.
Bird feeder. Now, this goes here.
Can I paint it?
No. This goes here.
Why not?
Hey, I have a little birdhouse downstairs. You want to paint it? Go nuts.
No, but I'll do the job. You can trust me to paint.
I want to do it.
Can we both do it?
Maybe. Or maybe I'll get you the other birdhouse and you can paint that one.
No, I want to be a help with it.
Okay.
Now?
No. Look at the hinge. Okay?
Hmm?
This hinge is going to go on this shorter piece.
Why is there
Oh, shoot. It doesn't.
why does it go like this, Rocky? Goes that and up and then back down.
What does?
The top. Look at the roof on.
Oh, here?
Yeah.
The fact that there's an air pocket there? Because this. Is this still filming?